Hello, everybody, and welcome to April's episode of the Women Who Have Shaped Worldly Belief with the Butterfly Princess. This month, I'm going to be telling you about the Roman goddess named Juno. Now, before we start, Juno is a Roman goddess, but she is also the counterpart of the Greek goddess Hera, and she's also the wife of Jupiter, who is the counterpart of the Greek god Zeus, because it's important to know that in the ancient world, although the gods of the Roman and Greek world were similar, they had different names. So to the Romans, she was known as Juno, but to the Greeks, she was known as Hera, and also her husband. To the Greeks, he was known as Zeus, but to the Romans, he was known as Jupiter. So I'm taking you to the city of Rome and telling you all about Juno this month. So Juno is the protector of the ancient Italian city of Rome. With this in mind, this makes her a very complex figure. Due to the Roman Empire being so vast, myths, stories, and indeed the character of Juno herself could often change on the many locations across the ancient empire of where she was worshipped. In Roman mythology, Juno is the counterpart of Hera. She was a wife of the king of the gods Zeus in Greek mythology. Like Hera, Juno was the wife of Jupiter, who was the head of the Roman gods. Jupiter was not only her husband, but was also her brother. And I'd also like to point out that this is a recurring theme in the ancient world, where you hear a lot of in Greek, Roman, and Egyptian mythology. You will hear a lot of stories where members of the same family, like brothers and sisters, even mothers and sons and so forth, married, were not only siblings or father and father, they were also husband and wife also. This was because there was a belief in the ancient world that if royalty sort of married the brothers or sisters or the wives or the mothers or the fathers or whatever, this would keep the bloodline very pure. So any children that was produced from the marriage would be completely of complete royal blood, if you will. Um, 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 Alongside Juno had other siblings named sorry, so Juno also had other siblings, and these siblings were called Neptune, Vesta, Ceres, and Pluto. Her father, her father was the Roman god of the sky, Saturn. Together with her husband and also the Roman goddess of wisdom, who was called Minerva, the Roman mother goddess was a part of something called the Capitoline Triad. These three deities were worshipped in an elaborate, beautiful temple, which was located on one of Rome's famous hills. There were seven of these famous hills in total. The Roman goddess Juno is linked with many things, including youth, love, and marriage. You will see depictions of Juno on Roman coins. So in the ancient world, when the Romans produced their own coins, there would be images of Juno depicted on the coins. The images depict her of being a perfect female ruler. Whoever said women couldn't rule, because in the ancient world, in sort of the medieval world, as I've discussed on my various different series as part of the Butterfly Princess show. So in the ancient world, particularly the medieval world, women were seen as very weak leaders. This was why kings were very eager to father male heirs, so that after they died and they could pass their throne on to a male heir. Then they thought that their dynasty would be secure, but they didn't think their dynasty would be secure if it was passed on to a female heir. But obviously, Juno, like we've discussed in this episode, is an example that women can rule, and obviously we've seen many women throughout history who have been strong rulers. Take for example Elizabeth I, who was the longest ruling Tudor monarch, and obviously our late Queen Elizabeth I, who ruled for a grand total of 70 years. So it just proves that women can rule as well as men. In her role as the mother of the Roman Empire, she took care of all the people in the state of Rome. However, she was honoured and deeply respected by the women of the ancient Roman Empire. This was because she was said to be the ultimate protector of women, protecting them from the moment they were born to the day they died. She also supported women throughout various life events such as childbirth and marriage. Together with other Roman gods, Mars, who was the Roman god of war, the Roman god of fire, Vulcan, Juno and her husband Jupiter were the most important Roman goddesses. Unfortunately, Jupiter wasn't a one-woman man, and would often take female lovers. It is believed that her cunning cheat of a husband created a kind of fog, in the hope that through the fog, Juno was unable to see his cheating ways. And obviously, I won't go into too much detail, but obviously, throughout history, men have also had, not all men, obviously, I'm not saying all men with the same brush here, but throughout history, men have always had some men have always had a wondering eye, and obviously sometimes their brain isn't within their heads, it's located within their pants and their nether regions. That is the case with some men, like I said, even today, although it isn't the case with all men, as I would say. I'm not saying all men with the same brush, but it's where we are. So, like I say, so I'm on with the discussion. So right. So one story tells of how the Roman god Jupiter had an affair with a priestess by the name of Edgar to protect his lover from his wife. Jupiter transformed his mistress into a cow. However, Juno discovered her husband's plan and now wants to keep a constant eye on her husband and his wandering lustful eye. To do this, she sent a giant named Argus to keep an eye on him. Now, this giant didn't have one or two eyes like us mortal humans do. This giant had a total of 100 eyes. Juno also appears in the famous tale of Agag, written by Virgil. It tells of how Juno went to every measure that was available to her in order to frustrate the hero named Argus, who had a task to find the city of Rome, located in the European country of Italy. Juno lured the hero to the ancient city of Carthage. It's here where the hero met Dido, the queen of the city. Queen Dido was an extremely beautiful woman, and this resulted in Argus falling deeply in love with her. However, despite finding love, the hero still remembered his task. So he left Carthage for Italy. Dido was devastated by her lover's departure. She built a funeral pyre and took her lover's own sword and plunged it through her own body, as she couldn't live without him. During this time of the ancient Roman Empire and the city of Rome, Juno had a main festival that was celebrated during the month of March. This festival was called Matigan. During the festival, women would wear their hair loose and receive gifts from their husbands and children. It was the ancient Roman civilization's answer to the modern Mother's Day. She also had other festivals celebrated in her honour throughout the year, including festivals that were connected to the waxing of the moon in the sky during ancient times. During ancient times, it was believed by individuals that the woman goddess was in control of the cycles of months and also the ever-changing seasons. So this now concludes this month, April's edition of Women Who Have Shaped Worldly Belief with the Butterfly Princess Show. I hope you've enjoyed this month's episode. I hope you can join me next month for June's edition, where we will be discussing another another female figure that has shaped worldly belief. Until then, take care, and I will see you again very soon. Bye for now.